Imagine a world shaped by a single man's rage. A man whose voice hypnotized millions, whose vision set continents on fire, and whose decisions ended over 70 million lives. He wasn't born a monster. He became one, built piece by piece out of rejection, obsession, delusion, and the darkest corners of human psychology. This is the story of Adolf Hitler, not just the dictator, but the mind behind the devastation. How does a failed artist become the architect of global war? How does a single voice bend an entire nation into blind obedience? How does hatred evolve into a political machine capable of destroying the world? Today, we dive into the rise. We dissect the mind. We witness the fall. This is not just history. This is a warning. Adolf Hitler was born in 1889 in Braunau, Austria, not into power, not into wealth, but into a storm of conflict. His father, Alois, was a strict, angry customs officer. His mother, Clara, soft and loving, protected him, perhaps too much. From a young age, Hitler lived between two worlds, one of harsh discipline and another of emotional escape. That tension shaped him. As a teenager, he dreamed of becoming an artist, not a soldier, not a politician, an artist. He sketched buildings, painted landscapes, wandered Vienna with the arrogance of a boy who believed destiny owed him greatness. But Vienna did not agree. Twice, the prestigious Academy of Fine Arts rejected him. Twice, his dreams collapsed. The young Hitler, living in hostels, broke, isolated, angry, began forming ideas, dangerous ones. Vienna was a city of many cultures, religions, and political movements. Instead of learning tolerance, he learned resentment. He absorbed conspiracy theories, soaked in extremist nationalism, and convinced himself that others, never himself, were responsible for his failures. This was the seed. This is where the psychological decline began. Rejection didn't humble him, it radicalized him. When World War I erupted, Hitler saw his chance. He volunteered immediately, finally feeling useful, finally feeling part of something bigger. For him, the war wasn't tragedy, it was purpose. But Germany's defeat in 1918 shattered him. The surrender, the humiliation, the economic collapse, all of it convinced Hitler that Germany didn't lose the war on the battlefield, but that someone betrayed it from within. He clung to conspiracy theories like lifelines. He blamed minorities, political opponents, anyone who didn't fit his vision of German purity. His anger found a target, his mind found an obsession, and then he found a stage. In 1919, Hitler joined a tiny political group, the German Workers' Party. It had almost no members, no influence, barely any structure. But they had one thing he desperately craved, a microphone. The moment he spoke, everything changed. His voice, loud, theatrical, emotional, electrified crowds. He discovered a power he never knew he had. He could control people. This is where the psychological transformation completed itself. Hitler didn't just believe his own fantasies, he made others believe them too. By 1920, he helped rename the party, the National Socialist German Workers' Party. The world would soon know it as the Nazi Party. Hitler mastered something far more powerful than weapons, propaganda. He understood human emotion. He knew desperation makes people easy to influence. He knew fear can unify a crowd faster than hope. Germany, drowning in unemployment, inflation, and humiliation, became the perfect audience. Hitler offered a villain to blame, a leader to worship, a future to believe in. He promised revival, purity, strength. He simplified complex problems into emotional slogans. He wasn't a genius, he was an expert manipulator. In 1933, after years of political maneuvering, violent intimidation, and relentless propaganda, Hitler was appointed Chancellor of Germany, but he didn't want a share of power. He wanted all of it. The Reichstag fire gave him an excuse. He convinced Germany that enemies were everywhere, and only he could protect them. He dismantled democracy in months. He silenced journalists. He outlawed political parties. He destroyed opposition. And the cheering crowds? They welcomed it. Psychologically, Hitler achieved something terrifying. He made obedience feel like patriotism. He made cruelty feel like duty. Nazi Germany was born. Hitler's beliefs were not random. They were structured, twisted, but structured. His ideology had three pillars. 1. Radical racism. He believed humanity was divided into superior and inferior races. 2. Extreme nationalism. Germany, he believed, must dominate Europe. 3. A cult of purity. Anyone outside his ideal vision was considered a threat. This ideology didn't stay words. It became law. It became policy. It became violence. Minorities were stripped of rights. Book burnings erased ideas that challenged him. Children were trained to worship him. The psychological machinery was complete. Hitler created a world where hate felt normal and killing felt justified. Hitler wanted more than power. He wanted empire. In 1939, Germany invaded Poland. World War II began. His strategy was lightning fast, brutal, overwhelming, blitzkrieg. Europe fell piece by piece. Hitler believed he was unstoppable, but this belief wasn't confidence, it was delusion. He opened multiple fronts, ignored advisors, made catastrophic military decisions based on ideology over logic. His paranoia grew. His trust dissolved. His speeches became frantic. His decisions became reckless. Millions died as Hitler chased fantasies of domination. But every empire built on fear eventually cracks. By 1945, the Allies surrounded Berlin. Hitler retreated into a bunker beneath the city, a dark, concrete tomb. He was no longer the fiery dictator. He was a broken man, shaking, pale, paranoid, obsessed with betrayal. The empire he promised would last 1,000 years collapsed in 12. On April 30th, 1945, Hitler took his own life. He died, not on a battlefield, not as a martyr, but as a dictator hiding underground from a world he set on fire. His legacy? Ruins, loss, a scar on human history. Hitler wasn't an accident. He wasn't inevitable. He was created by anger, desperation, propaganda, fear, and the silence of those who should have spoken. His story teaches us, charisma can hide cruelty. A nation in pain becomes vulnerable to manipulation. Hate, once normalized, spreads like disease. One voice, if loud enough, can drown out millions. But the greatest warning? History doesn't repeat because time repeats. History repeats because people forget. Hitler rose because the world underestimated the power of a broken mind with a loud voice. He fell because truth, courage, and unity eventually push back against darkness. But the question remains, could the world ever see another figure like him? And would we recognize the signs before it's too late? Stay curious, stay aware. History is only a guide if we choose to learn from it.